On today's show, it is part 2 with myself and Tyler Jones of ATL on 29 talking all things Hawks here in late July, and it's coming up right now.
You are Locked On Hawks, your daily Atlanta Hawks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Locked On Hawks podcast. I am your host, Brad Rowland, coming to you in late July, and this is going to be part 2 of 2 with myself and Tyler Jones of ATL on 29. So stop right now. If you missed anything from part 1 of this discussion, I recommend strongly that you begin with part 1. It should be available in the same podcast feed right now. So start there. Come back to part 2 if you missed anything from part 1. But without any further delay, we'll dive back in right now with myself and Tyler Jones.
Just to get back to Asa, just overall. Yeah. The strength thing is the big issue with him, combined with he needs to be more in his stance consistently more often.
Agreed.
Especially if he's going to be a switch guy, then you got to lock in there, and you can't just be standing up and just expecting your length to overcome, a mistake or two. Like, that's just not going to work on the NBA level because one, you don't have elite length to begin with on the NBA floor. So it's like he's got to be more technically sound there. But there's a lot to like overall, just like his overall game. Defensive rebound is definitely going to be a concern. The Hawks fans aren't going to hear that. But like, it was a concern in Summer League. It was pretty clearly a concern when it wasn't like uncontested rebounds. It was a real struggle for him. He's
getting moved. And that's what it comes down. He's not able to get position.
Not everybody can be, the greatest defensive rebounder in the NBA, Jalen Johnson, which is his best skill.
He really is great at it.
There's nobody. He's the best defensive rebounder I've seen in a Hawks uniform. Like, it's ridiculous the type of rebounds he's able to get there. Like, and he makes it look easy too. Like, he makes it look a lot easier than it is. Like, you compare Jalen to like what Ricochet looks like when he's going for contested rebounds. What Asa looked like this past season, like it's like they're, even though they're similar, it's funny because they're not all that different physically, but like there's just something about how Jalen has just timing and like explosiveness.
Well, I was gonna say he's a better athlete than all these guys, including Asa. And Asa's a good athlete. Jalen's a better athlete than Asa.
Yeah, but it's also it is timing. Like, he reads the ball.
It's more. Yeah,
he's reading the ball better than those two guys are. And that's just what I'm seeing, because like it's not like Jalen's the strongest guy in the world. Like, he's just a better athlete, and then he reads the ball off the rim as good as it gets in the NBA.
It's also one of the reasons why he is a 4. I know there are all those people that want him to play the 3.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why he's a 4 is, honestly, a lot of it's offense, but defensively, he is so valuable at the 4 as a rebounder. He's one of the 5 best power forward rebounders in the league. Like,
just really like Cooper Flag, Jalen Johnson in position is definitely in the 4. And if you play in the 3, it's a problem for your team on offense, because Cooper, by the way, they need to kill that point guard gimmick.
Well, I think that's actually a good thing to remember about Summer League, because you're right. I watched him play every minute he was playing. I was in the building for. It's a reminder that Summer League is sometimes for experimentation, and they have guys do things that they're not always going to do. I hope that's what was happening with Dallas. I don't know, because Dallas also had a terrible Summer League team that was other than Ryan Nembhard, they had like nothing else. They were really bad, and they had Cooper play a lot of on ball. But the Hawks does too. Not necessarily this year, but in previous years when they have like 1 or 2 guys that are like their guys, they will have them kind of do. Good example. You remember AJ's second Summer League? When they had AJ handling the ball like a lot, and it was like, oh, he can't do this. And it was actually helpful to know that he couldn't do it. But like, they knew, and by the way, they knew he couldn't do it. They wanted to have him develop and stretch in that way, and that didn't go very well. But like, it's happened for years and years and years on different teams. Like, so sometimes it's like, hey, we know you. Famously, this actually happened in the NBA at one point. You remember Zach LaVine, point guard?
I know Timberwolves fans have nightmares about that still, but I don't know how much that actually helped him overall as a player.
But that was the point. But that was the point. They were trying to have him get reps. And anyway, we're off the rails. It's just one of those things where not always in Summer League is it like this guy's going to do this in the NBA. Sometimes teams want these guys to stretch themselves. Even last year, Ricochet did it sometimes. Like he had a couple moments last year. I was like, he won't do that this year in the NBA, which is fine. He was the number one option. He was the best player on the team in summer league, and they treated him like it, which is fine. I don't know. It's just a different animal. Everything is about development in summer league. At least it should be. And the Hawks feel that way.
But and that's where shout out to ESPN for having Jalen at the 3 on that starting lineup, and also
some of these depth charts,
team, like incredible.
Some of these depth charts are out of control.
Jalen will play no minutes at small forward position. He's not. He doesn't.
I probably wouldn't say 0. There's a chance he would do it, but I think it would probably take a Ricochet injury.
Yes. Well,
only because, and this is actually, I almost brought this up earlier about Toppin, so we can go to that a little bit. It's a question I get all the time, and I wonder if you see the same question I get. Basically, who is the backup 3 is a question I get every day.
His name is Dyson Daniels.
Well, that's my answer as well. My answer is take your pick of Dyson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
It's funny. It's funny. It's like when people bring this up, I'm like, so you guys do realize Dyson Daniels is like 6'7", well over 210 pounds.
He's by the way, incredibly strong and known for
natural wing size. Like this is not to me the backup wing spot is not really much of a concern here because
I 100% agree with you. It's just you reminded me of because of I've been on the death to traditional depth charts train for a while. The point guard, shooting guard, small. I get why it exists. It was always positions. I just wouldn't do it that way at this point in time. And this is a great example of it. Obviously, the Hawks know that their third wing is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So either he'll play with Dyson or he'll play with Zach or Zach and Dyson will play together. And I know they have Beat too. Beat's more of a 2, honestly. Beat has small forward height, but is not a strong physical player. Luke Kennard's a 2, basically only on defense. Offense, he actually plays 1. And yeah, Toppin could fake it at the 3. He's the one guy on the team the one backup on the team that's a 3-4. He's a 3-4. You and I both agree. We just talked about this that he's probably more of a 4 offensively in the NBA. He's not a huge creator. He's really a spot up guy. Defensively, he has good strength and all that stuff. So they have a bunch of 4s and a bunch of 2-3s. And then they have Zach, who's really the only 3 on the team. The only guy that I would say on the entire roster is a 3, for sure, is Zach Ricochet. That's it. And that's fine. And they have guys that can do it.
It's funny you say that because I think they want to try to get him at guard as well, Zach. I know they tried to do it.
I mean, he can play. But we agree, but also, to use the term I hate, natural position. Yes. He's a 3. I mean, he's a 3. That's what he is.
Zach and Jalen are the most natural position players on the team. Where Jalen's a pure 4 and Zach's a pure 3, even though, again, they're similar sized players. But
Trae's a pure 1. That's everybody else can do whatever they want to do. Those 3 guys are in those spots.
Speaking of natural position.
Before we move on to maybe non-summer league or whatever you want to go. I heard until 29, but and by the way, as we record this Tuesday evening, this is still not official. I don't know the status of this. I do trust the reporting from Mike Scotto, who's a friend of mine, about Caleb Houstan, who is the closest thing to a 3 physically behind. Dyson we just talked about, but Caleb Houstan has small forward side, length and height, 6'8", 6'11" wingspan, coming in on I've heard it might even be non-guaranteed, but almost certainly a minimum contract for 1 year. But he even is not a physical player. No. He has the length of a small forward, but he doesn't make plays. And by the way, I've been positive about that signing. That's going to sound like I'm not. He can really shoot. That's his calling card. But defensively, he's more like Veet defensively. He has some strength deficiencies. Beats a smarter player, I think.
Bogey, honestly, if you want
to. And I've watched more film. He actually had some pretty impressive off ball help to team defense moments last year that I'm able to see on film, which is actually encouraging because that was a question of his at Michigan, having watched him in college. But physical on ball defender is not going to be his calling card. He's going to be you're hoping when he plays he's the guy you're hiding other than Trae. He's the guy that's going to be the secondary defender, and he won't play a lot anyway. I don't think. But it is another thing. We talked about earlier the length and the shooting. Sorry, the length and the versatility. This is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Summer sports now are in full swing. Whether all about baseball under the lights, golf on the greens, or the high-stakes soccer action in your life, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting for you. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little bit more thrilling with the folks at FanDuel? You can use FanDuel to track your favorite matchups, and the app keeps fresh all the time with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet for you. They have offerings across the sports betting space, from over-unders to point spreads, money lines, game props, future bets, player props, live betting, and same-game parlays all in one place. And they have every single sport and league you can think of at FanDuel as well. That, of course, includes the NBA, which we discuss all the time on this podcast, plus the NFL, MLB, college sports, NHL, UFC, golf, tennis, soccer, boxing, and everything in between. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and they make regular season games feel like must-watch events at FanDuel. Whether you're placing a same-game parlay or just watching a bet in baseball right in the ninth inning right now at FanDuel, it makes it feel like you're actually part of the action. And if you're new to FanDuel, you actually get a new customer bonus right now with just they can bet $5 and get $150. That's $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins at FanDuel. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. The place to go one more time is FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. The other thing that we have to talk about is they actually have a lot of shooting now, and they haven't had a lot of shooting in a long time. I mean, 2022 was the last time they had a lot of shooting. Yep. And how many times in the last 2 years did you and I come on this podcast talk about how they don't have a shooting? Like, how many times?
Yeah, we're
every time
we're explaining, like, why is Trae like not? Well, he has no shooting, and teams just load up on him. So it's just
correct.
It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard when you're a small guard and you have no shooting, and your whole gimmick is on drives to the rim, and there's no space for you. So like. Like I look at Caleb Houstan and I came to this conclusion. I was like, he's the George Niang replacement, where I think he's in a role that if Niang was going to be on the team still, like let's say if Porzingis was on the team magically and then Niang was also on the team, like this is the role Niang was going to be in, where he's more of playing the 3 instead of the 4. Because I just think defensively, you know, the Hawks realized pretty quickly, like, George Niang at the 4 is just – it doesn't matter what he's doing on offense. We're just getting 8 alive. And, like, he can only play with one – like, he can literally only play with a Congo. Like, this is not going to work. So, I think Caleb fills that role. And, like, the big thing with Caleb was, like, if there's an injury to Luke Kennard or Risa Shea, you still have some shooting you can go towards if you need to add some lineups, and he won't kill you on defense if he's playing alongside bigger players, if that makes sense. So like that's going to be his role. I would like to. I do say that there might be some upside with him still in our offensive environment that is the Atlanta Hawks compared to what the dungeon.
I mentioned it briefly on the show when he signed. He's the kind of player that could benefit so much from Trae. I mean, he's never played with a point guard like that. Orlando famously, I know Paolo and Franz can both pass. They both can, but like they're not Trae Young. They're not spraying the way that Trae is to shooters. And
by the way, Brad, I don't get the optimism with this Magic team. Like,
I'm probably not. I think I'm higher than you are on them, but lower than the consensus. If that makes sense.
But they still haven't fixed the offense. Like what?
They have more shooting now, but still don't have a ball handler. So,
they have one shooter.
Well, they have more shooting. That's more than they had before. They
acquired one shooter who's probably going to shoot the worst of his career in a bad offensive environment. And unless they're going to change the offense, like I just think Desmond Bane went from a great offensive system in Memphis. Now he's going to the dungeon. And so, like, I'm kind of curious to see how Bane's going to look, without, Taylor Jenkins, one of the GOATs out here, still doesn't have a job for some reason. Setting him up, like, respect to Mosley, but, like, his offensive system is trash. And, like, if they're going to play bully ball on both ends for 82 games, they're going to have injury problems again, and they're going to struggle to shoot the ball. Like, it's easy to defend that team. And until they fix that, I'm like, whatever. And this is my point with Caleb. I'm like, they let go of real shooting. And Caleb, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either. Like I think they're kind of in a corner. I actually want to know what you think about this. Someone asked me this today. I didn't run it by you, but somebody asked me, basically, did they choose Jet Howard over Caleb Houstan in Orlando? And the answer is kind of yes. Now, Jet Howard's under contract for guaranteed money, which I think is all it was. They basically couldn't have both of them, and they said, we already pay this. We already have this guy owed. But like, and look, they're both Michigan guys. I think Caleb Houstan might be just better than Jet Howard. Like
Jet Howard, you watched Jet Howard in the last?
Oh no, he's been bad. No, I know he's been bad. He's been bad all the whole time. I know.
Jet Howard on guys in the last game of the season.
I know.
Where both teams weren't trying to win.
Correct.
Jet Howard was the MVP of like.
Yeah, he could.
If my team needs to lose some games,
I mean, go blue.
Jet in. I can't.
Go blue, but it's not good.
I can't believe he's still on the NBA roster.
Well, you know why? He was a lottery pick. Like, teams just do not want to cut lottery picks that fast. Like, if they could dump him, they would. Anyway, not a win. But to that point, Caleb Houstan, look, flawed player. He has some interesting, like, box score wise, it's basically like he does nothing else other than shoot. That's okay. But you mentioned upside. He is young still. He's the same age as Dyson Daniels. He's 23. They're like within a few months of each other. Like, he's not old. He has a real NBA skill. His shooting is a real NBA skill. Like, you can't fake 39% on volume in the NBA for 2 years. Like, that matters. To your Niang point earlier, I looked this up while we're talking. The Hawks still actually had a positive net rating with Niang on the court last year, but they had a 119.4 defensive rating with Niang on the court. The worst on the team. And look, it's not all on him. He had some bad situations where he's playing with Bar. You remember the Barlow minutes? That was not his fault. But to your point, they don't have anybody like that anymore. Like, there's nobody other than, Trae's bad, obviously. We understand that. But they have nobody like that anymore. Caleb Houstan isn't a capital G good defender, but he is notably better than George Niang defensively. Jacob Toppin is way better than George Niang defensively. Like, they don't have anybody like that.
Yeah, and I just want to, just overall, like, I don't think Caleb's a savior or anything, or like even.
No, he's the 14th man, 13th man right now.
I think he's somebody who I'm more comfortable playing than what the Hawks have been before, where it's like Garrison Matthews.
Well, that was my comment. People ask me. People kept asking me, like, is it just a Garrison replacement? I'm like, kind of. Like,
yes, but 4 inches taller, and it's just like that matters so much. Where like Garrison, correct. They have to scheme up looks for him to get open because he's so short, and like that's.
The only thing that Garrison, I think, does better than Caleb Houstan is shoot on the move.
Yeah, movement shooting. Yeah.
Garrison's a real movement shooter. But to your point, he's 6. I'm stood next to the guy. He's listed 6'5". He's not 6'5". He's like 6'3.5". Like, he's a small shooting guard size player. And Caleb Houstan is a legitimate 2-3 size player. Like, 4 inches taller, bigger wingspan. Again, not a great athlete. He famously has not dunked the ball in the NBA. I get that. But that has more to do with him never going near the rim than it does with, like, being unable to dunk. Like, he could dunk the basketball. He's not Trae Young, where he's never going to be able to dunk.
I think if he were to play enough with Trae Young, he's going to dunk.
He would dunk.
Yes. Well, it's like that. That's what's like.
I will probably do a bet with somebody or something on the show in October. Like, will Caleb Houstan dunk? Yes or no? My answer will be yes. He will dunk this year. I'm pretty confident in that.
Yes. That's just the point with Caleb, where he's depth and like quality young talent who
cheap depth.
If he pops, you might have something there. You never know with these big wing shooters. Like Duncan Robinson famously went from a zero to a hero.
It's role, it's opportunity,
and it's confidence. It's like, are you in a confident? Yeah. Are you a confident player? Are you in a good offensive environment for you to be confident? And so
I don't want to overweight it too, but like I said on the show, people down in Orlando like swear by the kid's work. Like, he's apparently like extremely hard worker. And look, everybody most guys, I shouldn't say everybody, most guys in the NBA work hard. So it's not like that is the only thing you need to do. But to hear that him being like described to me as an outlier worker gives you some optimism that like he can find a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's just another data point. It's one more thing. I like that signing. It's not a big deal. It is Keaton Wallace coming back. Like, these guys, both those deals were similar to me, and that was like, hey, that's like a move I like. It doesn't change your life, but it's like, hey, in a vacuum, Caleb Houstan on the minimum, yes. In a vacuum, Keaton Wallace on a two-way, absolutely yes. Like
the thing is, if there's like massive injuries, these are guys you're okay with playing for a game or two. They might win you a game or two. Obviously.
Yeah, we saw it last year.
Rely on 15, 20 plus in a season, but like 5 to 10 games that it's good to have. It's good to have options, and like I'm glad the Hawks are getting out of the David Roddy morass.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you did it, so it's fine. I wasn't gonna bring it up.
By the way, Brad, when the Hawks reacquired David Roddy.
No, I showed you. I took some screenshots. I showed you a few things. My mentions were unbelievable that day. Like, by the way, including from you. Yeah,
because I was like, I never want to see this man play an NBA game ever again.
And
I'm sorry.
I was actually showing. I showed some people around the league, and they thought it was funny. But I mean, and I get it. It's my bit to be like, guys, it's going to be okay. But I actually felt that way. But I also understood why everybody was so mad because it was really bad. It really was. It was really bad.
It was really bad. It was as bad as Cam Reddish was his third year. So.
Hey, there are still people that want to bring Cam back and with a straight face. I hear about them. I hear about that all the time for people. They want to sign Cam again.
Cam Reddish, AJ Griffin, just like what?
Oh, AJ. Before we get out of here, because then you got to watch you have to go watch The Dream. Anything else you want to get into? I mean, we didn't talk much about Uruch. We did a little bit on that.
Let's talk about Nico a little bit. I didn't want to leave without talking about him because I feel like we talked about Kobe. Like this ultimately, this environment's not where Kobe's.
One Kobe question. One Kobe question. We both kind of poked fun of it on social media, so I think this is fair to say. I thought the negative reaction to Kobe was like so far out of line. And that isn't to say he's going to be, and people have kind of confused that with me saying he's going to be good. I think I've tried to acknowledge repeatedly, like the guy's been hurt for 2 years. He didn't blow me away at Summer League. I thought he was the best player on the floor in the first game. And then for a couple more stretches later, but like, I thought it was just like fine. I didn't think it was great, nor was it bad. But I also think this guy was a first round talent when he was drafted. That guy's still there. He has a archetype of a role. And I just don't, you're not that you're the only fan, but like you are much more of a fan than I am. I don't understand why people hate Kobe so much. Is basically what I'm asking you. Do you understand it? Because I don't want. Is it just because he's been hurt? Is that all it is?
You're asking me. I've been asking you offline. Like,
well, I know, but like, what? I don't get it. Like,
what is the deal? Kobe shoots 4 for 12, and it's like, oh, this is the worst basketball player of all time. Like, and the hate is so like misplaced. Like, it's just misguided. I think,
and he might. By the way, again, he might not be good. Like that. That is possible.
One is the Pascal Siakam rumor is just going to dog him for the rest of his career.
That might be it.
No.
Which, by the way, I have refuted that multiple times.
Like, Brad, how many times you got to say like Kobe has nothing to do with Pascal not being on?
Look, the Hawks. I'll say it again. Now, people have missed this before. The Hawks did not. The Hawks have always valued Kobe to some degree. They have. If they didn't, he would have been gone by now. He also was not the reason they didn't trade for Pascal Siakam. He would have been in the deal probably at different times, but they had different ways to trade for Siakam. It wasn't like, hey, we will never trade Jacoby Buffkin for Pascal Siakam. That was not what happened.
And that's how it was framed because
I know that was not what happened.
Like that because like, well, Quinn wants to keep. I'm like, guys, that's not
Quinn likes him, but that is not what happened.
It's just
I'll tell you that right now.
Besides, I don't get it. I personally don't get it. Like his rookie year, his point of attack defense was incredible. If he didn't get like that's the thing. If he just didn't get hurt,
he has shown. Right, that's the thing. I think it might be as simple as that. It might be as simple as
it's the
hurt
rumor,
2 years in a row.
It's the rumor, and he's been hurt 2 years in a row. Even though Jalen's been hurt, even though Jalen being hurt has literally ended the season both years. But the Hawks fans are like, we love Jalen.
To be fair, we know Jalen is good, which makes it different. I had to ask you that question. Now we'll go back to Nico, and then we'll get out of here. So Uruch, the first day, just seeing a little bit, the first game. He signs his deal. He's been waiting to sign for a year. The first day before the game. I'm trying to give a benefit of the doubt to some degree. I have posited that might have been part of why he was really awful in the first game. Like effort wise, like his defense was so bad. I was like, man, this is not good, like at all. Like this is not good. Now, the rest of the week, we made fun of him being out of shape at time. Maybe not out of shape, but like not having his wind, we'll say. Other than that, it was what you want to see from him. He was breaking the paint off the dribble. The shooting is a giant question. People in the organization still are like, I don't think he can shoot, which is not a deal breaker, but I wonder what you think about this because I've said it twice now, but not to a person on the show. I am of the belief with Nico Uruch that he either has to shoot well, which he does not currently do, or he has to defend well, which he does not currently do. If he does neither one of those things, he can't really be good. Like, I don't want to see it as good as he is breaking the paint, because he really is. Like, he has the size and the creativity off the dribble that everybody's looking for. Like 6'7", real ball handler, breaks the paint. But if you can't shoot and you can't defend,
then
that's when it gets dicey.
What are we talking about?
Well, Josh, yeah. I will say Josh Giddey, by the way, I'm not a fan of Josh Giddey at all. Josh Giddey is a much better passer than Nikola Uruch. Like,
yes. I'll just say this about Nico. Like, I hear you about the defense and the shooting and all that good stuff, but like the drives, the ability to get to the
that's why he's on the team. It's the drives. Yeah, he can do that.
You know, I think even if he is I want to talk about his defense when he's in better shape. Like I
agree.
Think, you know,
there were flashes in his defense.
He had enough flashes in defense. Yes.
Yeah. The first game was really, really, really bad, and I'm sure they were like, "Hey, man, you can't play like that." And then the next game, it was notably better. Like, I'm not saying it was good, but he was much more aggressive, much more attentive. Still made mistakes, but he was at least showing because he's a decent athlete. He's not a great athlete, but he's fine. Like he's good enough.
When he's in good, like he showed he can move his feet. He showed he was blocking shots, jump shots too, and like stonewalling guys at the rim. He had a big block. I forget which game, like a clutch block to help win the game.
Couple of highlight moments,
rebound.
On offense, same thing. Like he shows some burst.
Yes,
sometimes
he has he has legit burst. You see that in offense. Yeah. Like his first step is one of the better ones you'll see in a summer league 7. And like, outside of Trae Young, not that many drivers, and like he is a legit driver. And
that's actually funny. It reminds me because I had a similar experience that I had with Kobe during the week. Early in the week, I had people that were basically like, I don't get it with Uruch. Like, why are they signing him? He's bad. And I'm like, okay, it's hard to explain that, like, it's much more about a future bet with him than it is a current. We talked about it earlier, but like, he's not going to play this year. Barring like multiple injury, like he's the last guy on a full contract that's going to play, I think, pretty comfortably. But that's not why they signed him. They signed him for 2 years from now, team-friendly contract. And we just talked about it. Those guys who are 6'7", and he's legitimately 6'6", 6'7", who can handle the ball and break the paint and drive, are really valuable. Now, I have to ask you this. Is he a point guard?
No. But
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But he is somebody you're okay with running the offense for sure.
I agree with you. And those are different things. And it's a little bit of a nitpicky thing, but on those famous depth charts we just talked about earlier, he's always been a point guard. And I'm like, he's not a point guard. Like, they're not going to play him a point guard. Because the other thing is he can't defend point guards. Now, in Atlanta, there actually is a unique setup where the Hawks have 3 guys on their team already who can play the 2 and defend point guards. Dyson, Nikhil, and Kobe. Like, I think Kobe, people have forgotten that already. I get it. The one thing Kobe has proven to me, at least relatively, is that he can defend. Like, we've seen Kobe play defense well at the NBA level. That's happened. We've seen that. Offensively, much more uncertain. But people have kind of memory hole that Kobe was like really shining defensively. Like, that was the thing that happened. So obviously the Kobe's a much lower level than Dyson and Nikhil. But if, let's say 3 years from now, 2 years from now, Uruch is like a proven commodity bench guy, but like a secondary ball handler type big guard. There's some lineups you can dream on with him and Dyson in the backcourt or him and Nikhil in the backcourt that make total sense. where it's like he becomes one of the myriad ball handlers. This year's version of Luke Kennard, honestly, different player, but Luke Kennard this year will be. I will call it now. I've said it before. Luke Kennard will be playing point guard this season.
Oh yeah,
with Dyson or Nikhil next to him. That's going to happen. Write it in pen right now. Write it down. He's playing point guard a decent amount this year. That's going to happen. And Nico would be similar to that, different archetype of player, but a bigger ball handler who can't defend point guards, but who can play point guard on offense.
Yep. That's his, probably his ideal role. Like defensively, he can become a good defender, but like that's what
I agree.
It's like,
I agree.
How and I said this on David's pod, and I've said this on 810. It's like how much do you want it? And that's really my honestly, even beyond anything else, my concern with Nico is like, how much do you want it? Because like there's opportunities available if you're willing to take them.
He's the kind of guy,
with your talent level. He goes in the G League and he shows consistent defensive effort, and then his offense is like there as well, where he's just bullying guys at the rim and like doing what he did in Summer League, where he's setting guys up for his mid-ranger, which looked pretty good. There'll be opportunities for him in the NBA. Like the Hawks need another drop. Like the Hawks need somebody who can get from point A to the rim. Like flat out, they don't have. It's Trae and a bunch of maybes on that regard. And like Nico's a better driver than a lot of these guys. So like I think he has an opportunity, but like how much does he want it? Like is he going to be in better shape in October? Because that's
I assume so. And he did play in G League games last year, so it's a little bit different. But he's also the kind of guy where, and look, most guys are like this, but he came up. He was always the guy with the ball in his hands. He was always kind of in the star. He was in the star role at a lower level, like everywhere he went. And that's different. You don't have to defend the same way if you're the primary ball handler. Like people, you'll get grace for that. That ain't going to happen in the NBA. If he didn't guard, he ain't playing. Quinn won't play him. If he can't hold up defensively, he isn't going to be good enough offensively to not defend. It's just not going to happen. I believe in his potential offensively. I really do. But he isn't going to be I don't think he's going to be a star on offense. So, like, he's got to be able to defend. But on the bright side, I like Luke Kennard a lot. Luke Kennard just can't defend. Like, physically. You know what I mean? Just physically, like, has physical limitations where he can't defend. Uruch does not have that. Uruch is actually, again, 6'7", and actually a pretty good athlete. There's not an excuse for him to be able to not defend. Like, with Kennard, it's like, hey, he'll give effort, and he does. But he's also like 6'5" with like a 6'4" wingspan, and he's not a good athlete. Like there are clear limitations to his athleticism. Nico doesn't have that. Like Nico's actually a real wing size player with like some juice. He can defend. He should be able to defend.
And that goes to my point. It was where it's like even getting to Kobe is like there are opportunities for Kobe because I do think there's going to come a point during the season where Luke Kennard's defense is so bad and Kobe has opportunity there. So that's just.
There will be a time when they cannot play, and hopefully it's in the playoff. Like, look, hopefully this is a playoff team that we're talking about. But I've heard some people that in fact in Vegas has happened. People that were like thinking about playoffs with the Hawks. It's like, can you play Trae and Kennard together in a playoff series? And the answer basically is always no. So, and that's fine in the regular season. Cool, no big deal. But in the playoffs, if you're eighth man,
the regular season, the Luke Kennard Trae minutes are going to go nuclear. By the way,
well, they're going to
destroy some teams.
They're going to have like a 125 offensive rating. No, it's going to be similar to the Niang minutes, like, but maybe more, like more extreme, like number one offense in the league, 30th defense in the league when they play, and that's fine. They're bench minutes when stars in there or whatever.
Again, this is the Porzingis angle where it's like, as long as. And we're getting too much in the weeds in this, but like I think there are ways to construct lineups where Trae and Luke and the defense is still good, if that makes sense.
If you put them out there,
a regular season thing though.
Yes.
But like I absolutely think they can get away with it. They're going to want to play those two together because
they're going to do it, and you're right. We'll save this for October or whatever, but you're right. Trae Kennard, but with like Dyson, Jalen, and Okongwu, like. You can probably defend enough in the regular season. In the playoffs, when things slow down and you can game plan, now you have two spots to attack and like teams will kill you eventually. But that's different. We'll put that to the side. Tyler, go watch the Dream play the Aces. We're recording this Tuesday. This won't be out until after the game's over, but I told you I'll get you out here. We're gonna do that. I know you have something to recommend because you always do. So before we get out of here, what we got? Anything besides Michael Penix?
All right, so I'm reading 12 Kingdoms. They just got a reprint. The first book is out. You can get that on Barnes and Noble. It's great. Unfortunately, I have bad news though. It was broken up. They broke up the first book into 2 different sections. So like the second book's not coming out until October. That's the bad.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Good news for me is I have the first book in the original print, so I've just been reading that. I don't have book 3, so that's 12 Kingdoms. But it's a great anime as well. It's a classic. Go watch it. I think it should still be on Crunchyroll, but like it's one of the classics. Other than that, the new stuff that's out, I liked what I've seen the first couple episodes of Silent Witch. Dan, of course, you got to be watching that. Like that's must watch.
Of course.
And the summer Hikaru died is great. Give that a watch. It's on Netflix. That's probably it's not the best new thing out, but it's one of the more hyped up projects, and like the first 3 episodes have been absolutely fantastic. Watch it with the lights turned off and your sound up as well, so to give you a little spook. It's a little scary for some. I could see people getting a little scared about what's going on, but it's good. It's good. This is a great season for anime, by the way. There's a lot out. If you want more recommendations, just follow me on Blue Sky at Anansi2x4 over there. But yeah, I'd probably, the rec right now is like the summer Hikaru died is probably what you need to be checking out. But the other stuff, I'll let you know about.
All right. Well, we'll do it again. I will not bug you for a little while, probably, but we'll do an August or a September or something in the Dead Zone podcast about whatever we feel like talking about. You and I could. I feel confident in saying this. You and I could talk about the Hawks for an hour any day of the year. and we would probably offline if nothing else. But no, it should be a fun team. At some point, we'll do a bigger preview and all that stuff about what's going to happen. But I appreciate you doing this. Huh?
Hawks NBA chance 25-26.
You heard the odds. I gave it to you earlier. It's if you want the long shot, Hawks Falcons parlay. If you throw, by the way, I did the math. If you bring it full circle, if you throw the dream in too, it's like you win like $4 million. So
but like the thing I feel less likely on is the Falcons. I don't trust their defense still.
Well, they are for the first time in a long time, the Falcons are a longer shot to win than the Hawks in the betting market. The Hawks are plus 3,100. Falcons are 60-1. So
how the hell have the Falcons been juiced like that?
Well, because the Hawks haven't been, since the first year after the conference finals run, they've been in that it's the NBA. They make all the teams that are not the big teams. They're long shots. It is what it is. The Hawks have some juice this year, though. I mean, they're up there. Well, I'll do a FanDuel show pretty soon, but their over/under is pretty high, and people are liking the Hawks right now, as they should. It's a fun team. Also, I don't know if you said this or not. If you didn't, ATL on 29. Tyler is one of the co-hosts on that show. I am a every show listener to that podcast. So Tyler, Glenn, and some guy named Kevin that I talk to occasionally as well. Kevin's okay.
Yeah, we went pretty deep. We weren't pretty deep on the summer league, so we talked about the deeper guys. I think we touched on Kobe Johnson even a little bit more.
Nelly Jr. Joseph, baby. Glenn and I love Nelly Jr. Joseph. I stopped by Glenn for a quarter in Vegas.
He's a good player. He was a good player. He has an outside shot in the NBA. So
yeah, we opened with that earlier, but they did a good job on the margins in summer league.
Absolutely,
these guys are if they can't get him in College Park, it's a mistake. They should be trying to sign a lot of those guys in College Park.
Yep.
Junior Joseph, Kobe Johnson, etc. All right, Tyler, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. Check out ATL 29. Follow and subscribe to Locked On Hawks anywhere you get your podcasts, and we'll see everybody next time.